Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Cafe. I'm your host, Segilola Salami. What can I get you today?
I think I'll go for a double shot espresso, please.
Okay, that's fine. So, what was your name?
My name is Reggie. Reggie Padine.
Okay, hi, Reggie. And what would you like to have with your drink?
What type of pastries do you have?
I have done today. Normally, I bake a cake, but
Okay.
today I've done something that seems to have different names in different places. So, the one I baked yesterday, well, it's more like a fried dumpling. Um, yeah. So
But
someone calls it, I think in the Caribbean they call it festival. Um, so yes, that's what I've got at the moment. But then I've also got, what else have I got now? I'm just having a quick look. I've got half a whole cake of Oreo cake left. I seem to like to make Oreo cakes, well, because I
I'll,
love
I'll,
Oreos.
a slice of the Oreo cake, please.
Perfect. Okay, we'll send the little human to get onto it with a nice pudgy belly. Who's next, please?
Hi, I'm Debbie Begay. I'm a New York Times bestselling author of 50 books.
Whoa.
Yes. I'm most famous for the Wicked series and the Psalm 23 series, and I would love a Coca-Cola.
Nice. Okay, what would you like to have with your Coke?
If you have Cheez-Its, I'll take them, because I use those to write together.
You want what?
Cheez-Its.
Oh, right, okay. No,
Crackers with cheese on them.
No. Would you like the cake or would you like the dumplings?
Oh, I'll take the cake.
Okay, that's perfect. So we'll get the little human to get off her nice pudgy behind and leave her fruit shoots and go. So she does take a bit of time, so I hope you're not in a hurry.
That's fine.
Okay, now that's fine. But, Debbie, I'm just amazed. 50 books. How long have you been writing?
Well, I've been writing since I was a kid. I've been publishing since 2002.
Whoa. So on average, how many books do you write a year then?
Seems like a lot. Probably 4 or 5.
Oh, okay. That's all right then. Because when you said 50, I was like, whoa. That's definitely a lot. That's something that a lot of people aspire to. I set a target myself because I only started writing less than a year ago, and I've said to myself that this time next year I would like to have as close to 10 books as possible published. So that's my target. So I'm still a lifetime away from 50. But that's me. How about
I guess
you,
I have
Reggie?
49 to go. I guess I have 49 to go. It's my very first book.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
I'm very. The 50 sounds very impressive.
It does.
Well, it's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun. Later this year, my 52nd book will come out, so I'll have one book
Wow.
for every week of the year. Yeah.
Wow.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
Right. When did you first become a bestseller?
In 2009, ironically, my very first book series that I did with Nancy Holder called Wicked had been out of print mostly for 7 years, and then someone at Barnes & Noble decided to champion it, and suddenly it became a bestseller. So it was pretty awesome.
Wow. Because why I was asking is there seems to be this, what's the word now, this rumor, statistic, whatever you call it, right, that the average time frame that it takes an author to become a quote-unquote overnight bestseller is about 10 years. So that's why I was asking. So
Yeah.
you've done that in, what, 7 years?
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you. But yeah, it was a surprise. It was awesome.
Oh, good. So, apart from... Sorry, go on.
No, it gives hope to the rest of us to shoot for something like that.
Absolutely. And having read your book, then you should be shooting for something like that.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. So, apart from the person at Barnes and Noble, sort of championing your book, did you have to do anything to get it to bestseller, or did it just sort of take a life of its own?
It took a life of its own. I mean, it really did. And it was in fact, the day that the editor called me and to congratulate me that I made the New York Times bestseller list, I was sitting there going, and I'm sitting there trying to think which books I have with that publishing house. Finally, I said, for which book? You know, and he said, Wicked, and I went, what? You know? So it was pretty funny. It was actually also the first time I'd ever heard his voice, because usually I don't talk on the phone with my editors.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool. So, Reggie, you said you've got one book, but you didn't. What's the title?
It's the title of the book is Get Out of the Dumpster, and you know that I'm not a full-time writer. I'm an educator. I'm the dean of a corporate university during the day.
Okay.
And an adjunct professor at night. And now I've become, you know, I've developed a sort of an interest, passion for writing, and I wanted to get my story, at least the part of my story, out, and that's why I chose to write the book.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting. So we've got, okay, tell us, what's your book about? What exactly? What's the story behind it?
Well, the story is basically it's my experience of how to overcome limitations.
Okay.
You know, when I was a younger man, I decided to drop out of school, and I made the wrong choices, which, you know, I ended up doing, you know, odd jobs here and there, and finally I landed. I guess at that point it was a dream job, because it was like a permanent job. It was a custodial job at a company which I didn't know they were going out of business. And
Right.
so because they were going out of business, they couldn't pay the waste management company to come in and pick up the garbage. And so I was given the task of pulling the company truck, the box truck, to every single dumpster around the company and haul garbage by hand and take it to the landfill and deposit it there. And I had to do that in the middle of the summer. You know, chest deep inside a dumpster was not pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided that I needed to do something with my life, and I laid it out in the book. You know, I had to change my mind about what I wanted, and had a different mindset, and create a plan and execute the plan, and shoot for excellence. And little by little, I started getting out of the dumpster, and I've accomplished quite a bit since then.
No, definitely.
But what I realized is that that's just one dumpster. Everybody faces, you know, their own dumpsters, their own dumpster moments that we need to overcome as well. So it doesn't apply just to a physical dumpster.
Okay, interesting. Well, you've definitely come a long way. From a dumpster to being a dean. That's amazing. I think a lot of people would aspire to that. Okay, and so your book basically just tells that story.
Yeah, I tell the story and the steps. I think the principles. So it's not a biography.
Okay.
So, but it definitely gives the steps that I've taken and that I do take even up to this day to get out of my particular dumpster moments.
Okay. Right. Now, before we even sort of go into your book more, I think, if you've ever listened to any of the previous episodes, of the Segilola Salami show, that one thing that the other guests, a lot of the other guests who have come here have been, big fans of reviews. But one thing we haven't covered is the need for editorial reviews. I mean, what are your thoughts on editorial reviews?
Well, I self-published, and so I guess that the process is a little differently for self-published authors, and but I do aspire though to go through the regular traditional route as well. So I am all for it. The reason why I self-published is because I didn't want to wait. I felt like I wanted to get my message out there. And but eventually, even with this book, maybe in a second edition, I will probably submit it to a traditional publishing house and go through the traditional steps of publishing a book.
No. What I mean are services like Kirkus Reviews and Forward Reviews. They're paying services. So I guess I'm asking, would you consider, if you haven't already, would you consider taking out a paid editorial review for your book? Because a lot of times people or these companies rave about the reviews that they provide, and it's almost like, well, if they give your book a favorable review, then maybe people would consider your book a bit more.
Oh, okay, I got
I'm
it.
talking about critic reviews.
Critic reviews. Okay, I haven't really thought about it. I haven't thought about it. I haven't given it thought. I mean, I'm thinking again um, the self-publishing, self-promoting avenue, but I would be more than open to explore that other option as well.
Okay. What about you, Debbie? I mean, you're sort of more established, and you've been in the industry significantly longer. What are your thoughts about sort of page reviews from services like Kirkus and Forward?
Well, for the most part, publishers handle that kind of work, which is nice.
Okay.
And it can be helpful, especially like, I mean, not all those services are paid. A lot of them are just, honest critic reviews that are trying to, they put together magazines for different organizations, whatever. So, like, if you can get, like, in school library journal and get reviewed well, that helps you get libraries buying your book, so that
Mm.
it's very helpful depending on which audiences you're targeting. And, like, for example, in 2010, one of my Psalm 23 books, I Shall Not Want, was named like a top 10 religious fiction of the year
Okay.
by Booklist. And so things like that can actually be incredibly helpful. And Romantic Times is another big one that likes to review anything that has even a touch of romance, even if that's not the point of the story. But
All right.
yeah, it can be helpful. It's not the end-all be-all, and it will not kill you if you don't have them, but it will certainly, if you have positive ones, it can be helpful.
And
Yeah.
for somebody who's self-published, do you think it would be beneficial?
I think target the ones that you think you're looking for your genre or the crowd you're trying to reach, or if you if you want to target a certain group of individuals who you're looking at to buy the book. It can be helpful, but you have to make sure that you have really crossed all your T's and dotted your I's, and that everything looks pristine. The grammar, the typing, everything. Because if you send them something that doesn't look completely polished, that will kill you.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe I should then be a bit more specific, right? So when I started, then I saw, because I think if you use CreateSpace, I don't know if CreateSpace are linked with Kirkus, but they seem to always push Kirkus as a reviewer, and I know that a lot of self-published authors use CreateSpace. So, in your experience or research or personal opinion, what do you think about taking out a paid review with a company like Kirkus?
Was that a question to me or Debbie?
Either of you.
Oh. Well,
Okay.
I mean, again, for me, I decided, at least for this first go around, not to go in that direction. But perhaps in the second revision of the book, and probably in subsequent books, I will definitely look into it. I guess my goal at some point is to be published by a traditional publisher, and like Debbie said, maybe that's something that they take care of.
Right. Okay. Well. Okay. So what about you, Debbie?
I think it's fine. Especially if you're going to get an honest review. I mean, it's kind of like an oxymoron. It's like if you're paying for it, you want them to be nice, but that doesn't help you. You want the review to at least be, have a sense of legitimacy to it, obviously. So, I mean, I think it's fine if people want to do that. And I have published in CreateSpace, and I've never seen them pushing Kirkus on the back end. So
No, it's not pushing like when you're setting up, but if you go through one of their, they have links to maybe like promotional things and further resources. So it's one of the ones that I think I saw, unless maybe I didn't see it properly. But that was the first time I heard about Kirkus was via a link on CreateSpace. But would you recommend that authors take out a paid review service? Is it worth it?
I would recommend before I'd recommend that, I would recommend that they would do giveaways and advertisements on Goodreads.
Okay. So what is the advantage? So Kirkus and the likes of them, they're thriving. So obviously they're doing something good. What do you know? Because I don't know. Do you know what the advantage of using them is? I mean, obviously, for self-published authors who do not have the budget, it's ideal to, like you said, do giveaways and, connect with people and build your author platform. But then sometimes people are a bit confused if they should even bother with investing in, editorial reviews or critical reviews. So if they've done all the things that they should do, beforehand, they've gotten their books to be the best version that they can make it be, professional illustrators, proofreader, editors, have gone through, the meat grinder, like Smashwords would say, several times, and, it's been the absolute best that it can be. All the reviewers and beta readers and early readers, everybody says it's an absolutely lovely book. At that point, is it worth the author, self-published author, then contacting or taking out a paid service from someone like Kirkus or Forward? Is it worth it?
I would say it's only worth it if you are literally targeting getting your book into libraries. If you're trying to get your book into libraries, by all means do it. If you're not trying to get your book into libraries, then focus on getting more readers, because readers who are just going to go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble and buy your book, they're not interested so much in the critics' reviews as what other readers are saying, which is why Goodreads is invaluable. But libraries and institutions who are looking to buy books will look at the established critic channels. It's kind of the difference between the movie critics who work for newspapers and they get paid for it versus being able to go on Rotten Tomatoes and see what other people like you think.
Interesting. That makes sense now. Okay, so then that moves me on to my next question is, now, I've messed around with, the Kirkus website once, not a long time ago, not something that I've done recently, and maybe my question is no longer valid because maybe they've changed things, but as of the last time that I went through their website, they were saying that they will give you the review, and and it's up to you what to do with it, so to speak, so they don't actively promote it. They don't actively promote your review. If you don't like the review, you can have to not publish it, or if I'm not mistaken, they might publish it on their website. But that's about it. They don't really do much else with it. Their work is to just publish or to just write the review. And what you do with it is then totally up to you. Am I still correct? Or that's why I got some of the both completely wrong.
Like I say, given that I don't handle that part of the publishing world, I'm thinking that's true, because when I get reviewed by Kirkus or somebody else, and usually I've been reviewed by them before they were a paid service, so it's one of those things. But when you get a review from somebody, School Library Journal or whatever comes in, your editor will send you the review, and then your editor will, and internally in the publishing company, they're going to handle pulling out the excerpts that they want and putting those on Amazon, putting those on Barnes & Noble, wherever they're planning on selling the book.
Okay. Right. So what advice, Reggie has said he will consider it for his next book because he's got one book and he's not considered it yet. So today you're our resident expert. And I'm hoping to get as much out of your brain as I can. So it definitely does make sense now, because, the other time I saw a group on Goodreads where they were debating about, reviews and whether or not it's worth doing an editorial one. So it's quite interesting, to then sort of have this clear-cut definition, for lack of a better way to say it, the way you've done, that if someone is not going to approach libraries, then it's definitely worth focusing your attention and your resources on getting more readers' reviews. But then if you're going to, get your book to be considered by libraries and institutions, then it is worth doing that, because I guess it's an independent professional reviews, and professionals consider professionals rather than professionals considering end users. So that makes sense.
Exactly.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. So I guess the next question now would be, what do you do once you've done that? Because for instance, like one of my books are listed with my local library, and I think it was sort of from the back end of me doing a book reading with them. So I guess we'll then have to then come back to this discussion another day. So we'll say editorial reviews part 1. Consider editorial reviews if you're going to be targeting institutions. So now then the next thing is to try and figure out is, once you've gotten those editorial reviews, how do you get it to those institutions to see and take note?
Well, the librarians and buyers for libraries and things of that nature, they're already reading those publications. They already know who's getting reviewed, what the reviews are. It's not like you can send something to them that they're, to get their attention, because they already are aware.
Right, okay. So Kirkus, do they publish it on their own magazine?
Pardon me?
Kirkus, for instance, do they publish all their reviews in their own magazine?
I can't honestly remember. I know they publish I think they publish everything on their website. I don't remember what the different formats they use are, because like I said, usually I don't have to go looking because somebody just sends their review.
Yes, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to give them a quick look. Okay, so be that as it may, thanks for that. It's quite useful. It's something that I've never really known what the point of doing or not doing, but it definitely makes a lot of sense. And I guess in a way, if they're going to be publishing it, or however way they do publish it, and if it can get more eyes on a book, then it's definitely worth the effort. Okay, so I'm just on the Kirkus website. So if you're ever interested, for indies, it's going to be kirkusreviews.com/indie-reviews. So if you wanted to give it a shot, because they do have the service. And yes, they do. Book reviews published last year. Last year, Kirkus did 10,000 book reviews, which they published, which is quite interesting. And they've got 55,000, and they've also got a magazine circulation as well. Okay, so that sort of gives the answer to that question. Okay, so Debbie, did you read Reggie's book? I think you said you read Reggie's book.
I am halfway through it, which is very high praise because I don't have time to read. So
I feel very honored.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I don't read my friends' books. I mean, it's just very sad because I'm too busy. But I started reading it, and I'm like, this is really fascinating stuff. I was very impressed.
Remind us again, what's the title?
It's get out of the dumpster.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what did you think of it, Debbie?
I liked it. I thought he had a very clear-cut writing style, very easy to follow. The humor was appreciated. I liked his call-outs of quotes by different people regarding the different chapters that he did in the title pages of the chapters. I also liked the steps that he laid out. I got through all 9 steps. I thought that was awesome.
Excellent.
I also thought it was interesting because most books that are looking to help you improve your life, they would stretch out those 9 steps a lot further than he did. So I thought it was fascinating that he gave them so clearly up front, and I figured this is a different way to do it. So I'm very curious to see what the last half of the book is then, because I think it's probably going to deal more with like implementing and stuff.
Yes.
But Yeah, it was a very good read. It was a very easy read, which is how I've made it that far so quickly. And
Hmm.
I did. There were several phrases that I literally had to stop and go, huh. Maybe I'll have to write that down and post it on my wall so I can stare at it every time I need to.
Well, I'm flattered.
Good.
You know, in my again, I'm not I wouldn't consider myself a professional writer, but I did want when I was writing this book, I dedicated the book to my children. I have four children, and and when I wrote it with that intention that it would be an easy read, that people can go, get through this as fast as possible, and that each of those chapters would stand on its own. So because probably you don't need to change your mindset, right? That's one of the chapters.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's issue is executing a plan, or focusing on excellence, or looking for a mentor or a partner or a coach. And so that's why I laid out the book the way that I did.
Oh, cool. Right. Okay. So I always like to ask this, and I like to play devil's advocate because I think in everything there's always room for improvement. So for the bit that you've read, Debbie, what part did you not like, or what do you think the author could have done differently?
I'm not sure if it's just what I was looking at. I had hold of a PDF, but so I don't know if this is true if I had actually had the book in my hand as opposed to just the PDF. But there were some difficulties with page layout.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know if that's in the print version or if it was just the e-version I was looking at. But there were times when line spacing went awry, or the initial letter in each chapter was enlarged, which is a standard thing to do, but it would sometimes overlap other texts. So
Okay.
there was some in reading it smoothly, and that was what I would change. But like I said, I don't know if that is how the print version actually looks, or if it was just something that kind of got lost in translation.
Mm, mm. Okay. Okay.
I'd be more than Debbie. I would be more than happy to send you a print copy.
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you. I
Yes,
think I have your email. I'll email you my address afterwards.
absolutely,
That is
absolutely.
very sweet of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay! I like it when good things happen on the show. Yay!
And,
Okay.
and by the way, I mean the whole project. I did the whole project except with the exception of the cover art that I paid for, and I paid for not an army of editors. I think it went through 3 rounds of editing.
Oh
And
wow.
I know, but I know that for traditionally published books, I mean there's several rounds. I mean of editing that it goes through. Um,
Hmm.
and even for the e version, I did that myself. So there may be some definitely a room for improvement there.
Mm.
You just need a good copy editor.
Hmm.
That you don't need there's two types of editing. There's editing where they say, they look at the large scale and say, well, this doesn't make sense, or you should move this chapter here or do that, or you should explain this concept more fully, or I don't think this section works for you at all. The people
Uh-huh.
that look at the macro, you don't need one of those. You need a
Okay.
copy editor who looks at the micro and tells you um, the grammar is screwed up in this sentence, or you
Okay.
repeated yourself a couple of times on the same page. You need someone who's going to go through and basically, be the human spell and grammar checker. But they're also very good because they can tell you, hey, you contradicted yourself, from page 2 to page 14, and I don't think you meant to, or
Okay.
you used this same phrase 5 times in the same paragraph, and that's not going to help you.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
But yeah, you don't need a macro editor. You just need a copy
I'm a
editor.
copy editor. Okay.
Okay, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much. And we've come to that end of the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you both on the show. Debbie, if someone wants to connect with you, and I'm still in awe that you've got 50 books published, like, well done, it is just amazing. 50 books, wow. But yes, okay, I will calm down. If people want to connect with you, what is the best way to do it? Are you on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Where are you?
I have a website, www.debbieviguier.com, DEBBIEVIGUIE. And I'm also on Twitter, Debbie Viguier, and on Facebook, author Debbie Viguier.
Excellent.
Perfect. And how about you, Reggie?
It's very simple for me. It's reggiepadine.com, and all my information is there, as well as if they go to my Amazon page, that all my information is there as well.
Okay, what was that website again?
It's Reggie Padine, ReggiePadine.com.
Perfect.
And probably the easiest way is Amazon.com, and if they look for Get Out of the Dumpster, I have all my information there.
Okay, that's perfect. When was Get Out of the Dumpster published?
It went out to publish April of this year.
Okay, so not too long ago.
Not so long, no. And it's been doing. I mean, it's been doing quite well. I've been very pleasantly surprised.
Oh, good. Congrats. I like it when good things happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and hopefully I will see you both again sometime in the not-too-distant future.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, okay, then. Speak to you again, and thanks, listeners, for joining us on the Segilola Salami show. Thanks now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.